Well, bro, my let's go on to you for wasting my time, honestly. Leave me now.
When you start making money, now, see, you can see the trouble that these people are putting me through because I want to bring them to come and interview.
It's alright. Really?
just to to make the channel lively for you guys.
Alright.
So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Please, make sure you subscribe. 5,000 viewers. Okay, guys.
1 million viewers.
This is Emmycul, and beside me is
Caleb.
Caleb. You don't have a nickname.
Caleb.
Okay, this is Caleb, and I'm your Emmycul. And this is the Elites Group channel on YouTube. We're actually here to enlighten you guys on something happening in our various private primary and secondary schools. Secondary schools these days is actually becoming something else. I don't know, maybe you have ever experienced when you take your child to school and eventually after the whole of the section you go and take them back and you begin to see some things you never thought them. You begin to act the way strange that you never could think of, and you are wondering, where did they get this from? Actually, there are great influences coming out of secondary schools, and that is why we have actually brought this topic before you, our viewers, and they are going to be blessed. They are going to learn. So here with us is
stay cool and stay tuned.
Alright, stay cool. I'm here with two educators who have experiences from secondary schools. They have been to different secondary schools to tutor, to supervise, and other things. And that's why I've actually brought them, because they have a perfect knowledge of what they're talking about, and they are going to be sharing their experiences with us. Before I introduce my guests, do you have anything to say, Caleb?
No, I do not.
All right, let's go straight. Let's go straight to the introduction. Sir, can you introduce yourself to the public?
Hello everyone, this is Matthew, aka Grace.
That is Matthew, aka I Grace. All right, Ma.
Hello everyone. Miss Victoria.
Miss Victoria. All right. Before we proceed, we're going to make the interview very short, so we're not going to be taking much of your time. And I have some questions for them here, which me and Mr. Caleb on the show are going to be asking our guests here. And so I want Mr. Caleb to take the first question and ask any of the guests.
The very first question here is, want you people to give us like the impact of how the structure of school, as the impact they play in bringing up pupils or students in a school. The structure, there have to be a way you have to like build your school, the structure, and you understand. So how would they play a very good impact in bringing up the students?
Well, school structure is one of the most important aspect of having a school. If you want to have a good school, you must have a good structure. School structures, talking about the classrooms, for example, good ventilation. You can't teach a child if they are dark. It's not a spacious place. And of course, if it's too choky, if you're having up to 150, or if it's not even advisable to have up to 50, 60 in just one small classroom. You must have a big, spacious place to have these kids. it's school structure has a lot of to do with student performance, it has a lot to do with the structure of the school and the whole setup of the school. So
Because one has to also look at the environment whereby you are building the school as well, not a noisy environment, because it will affect the learning.
yes,
Yes.
noisy environment also should be. A school shouldn't get close to a market or a place where it will disturb the teaching, the learning process of the child.
So, okay. Now, the moral aspect. Can you say about the moral aspects, Miss Victoria?
Um, which the moral aspect in our various schools, both primary and secondary school, it is expected of a child, excuse me, it's expected of primary school child and that of the secondary school child, kid should be well disciplined. Let's talk about discipline. It comes to the place of them learning in school and also at home too. Because most of the time, we parents, let me put myself we, because I also will be that tomorrow. We parents, things we are supposed to do at home, we put it on the teachers. Basically, we are supposed to inculcate in our works. We we don't do our homework, so we leave it for the teachers to do that for us, and which is not supposed to be. The adage says charity begins at home. So if you train your child very well at home, definitely when they come to school, what the teacher will be doing won't be, it will be implementing that what you have done, not wanting the teacher to do everything it's not supposed to be. And also, we also as teachers, we should also play our role in inculcating good morals on those children.
Exactly.
And also teaching them what they are being paid. You know, their parents are paying for their learning.
Yeah,
So the main purpose for them coming to school is for them to be educated, know how to speak and know how to write. And if we teachers fail in that aspect, not teaching the children what they're supposed to learn, it's now another thing entirely. And it's also some teachers too. There's also a high level of morals expected from every teacher, every school teacher, whosoever you might be secondary school or primary school. That is what.
Thank you. That's a good one from Miss Victoria.
Let me just add
Okay.
one more. You know, education begins from home.
That's
Because that is where they will start teaching the child to know how to greet. It is part of developing their morals, how to greet, how to react to things. You don't talk to stranger, you know. All the sons, they also bring them up very well and you put them on a very good standard. So when they get to school as well, when they see their teachers as well, they'll be able to greet their teachers that my dad and mommy has taught me how to greet at home, and they can also, by so doing, it will help them.
All right. That's a good one. So that's a good contribution. I actually want to ask a question that has to do with facilities now. You know, facilities help us a lot. You know, when we were in secondary school, I remember during those days when we were in secondary school, we were not actually exposed to some of these facilities that help us to learn. As an art student, you know, I happen to be an art student, we really don't have anything practical. All we have just been learning is theory, and that is why, as an art student, not all art students can draw, not all art students can actually do some practical artworks. And also, it's like that in science class too, that not all schools have well-equipped laboratory, and also computer lab where people can be exposed to some practical things that can enhance their learning process. So I want us to also share our experience on that from schools.
In terms of facilities, I want to say something about that. First, I will say is The Nigerian system of education, we are lacking in this aspect. Even the school, you would think have these facilities. Uh, you discover if you want to put them side by side with schools in Europe, you find that they are lacking. And that's why European countries they are far above us. If you look at it, that the ones that we think we have, and we can pride ourselves that okay, we have these. For example, laboratory. For example, we have the test tube, the apparatus in general. Compare it, the standard. Compare it with that of the American. You call that it's lacking. And even on top of that, some schools are still lacking even these few apparatus that we claim we have, that we are still growing. So it's a sad one actually. We need to work on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry to chip in a little from what Mr. Martinez said. Now, talking about the facilities too, like for primary schools, sometimes some of those kids they still need toys. Now, when I talk about toys, I mean educative toys. We don't just buy any, just go to the market and just buy some toys, even at home. We buy some educative toys for our kids. It also enhance learning. Sometimes when they see these images, see this is mommy, this is daddy, they see the picture. That is when we talk about teaching aids, so which is very paramount. So, and also some of our schools they don't have them. Some of the proprietors they have school just for the money aspect, and they forget that they are there to inculcate and teach just children because they are our future leaders for tomorrow.
That's good. That's good.
Okay. All right, over to you, Mr. P.
So, having said this, is there any other Is there any other idea you have towards having a good standard and equipped school that will help to enhance the process of learning into the students?
If someone wants to go into training of children, number one, in Nigeria actually, first I would say, if someone wants to go there as a school owner, you want to run the school, first of all, you know that you are on divine assignment. In the sense that it's not all about the money. You want to really make these children have standard education. You have to spend more. You have to get good teachers. You have to get good structures. You have to get good facilities for them. You have to browse. The world is just going on evolution. Browse, get ideas, get different concepts. Make your school colorful. Attract these people and do the right thing. Teach them well. And I think you should have find a good place to situate your school. I think you will be fine.
All right, over to Saturday, generalize your view now for schools and how school can equip their facilities to enhance their learning process. Suggestion.
Okay, I also want to see the parents too. I guess some of these parents they also pay their school fees on time. Some of them will go, well, by the time they bring the board, some will tell you I have 5 kids. Maybe let me pay for, divide this thing for me. Divide the school fee, for so that it's 50-50. And sometimes it doesn't run that way. Also considering the proprietor because they'll have to pay the teachers too. So the parents too should also help in their own way, bringing up their own children well for them, and also trying to pay their school fees at the right time. So that just school fee can be paid.
Sorry, I want to say something on that. I want to find a scenario where the whites now have people going for the white people that want to have family, they have family and they have to pay school fees. I don't think they will allow them to go to school. School owners should understand the place of agreement. If you want your child, this is a particular time you should pay your school fees and meet that payment. There should not be sentiment in business or sentiment in collection of money. If not, the parents might take them for a ride. So I think most times the school owners should know how to get this money. These people have money, they have money, but if you don't if you make it feel that they can talk to you about it, they can always beg you about it, and you always consider them. They might feel not fast enough or uh, eager to pay the money. And even if situation around them to um, couldn't they can't meet that bill at that particular time. There are ways we handle that. There are ways to handle that, but it shouldn't just be anything goes or anything goes, or of course they always beg and apologize. So that's what I want to really quickly share.
All right, all right. Thank you, I guess. We really appreciate you for coming, and it's actually a wonderful moment with you, and we are happy to have you on the show this day. Thank you for coming, and God bless you. Thank you. So our listeners at home, you can actually, you are free to go. You can plug that. Oh. You don't need the camera here. So I've heard this. So listeners at home, you've actually seen what is happening in our various secondary schools that starting from the facility we have on ground to enhance the learning process is too bad. And we're actually encouraging parents to also pay. When you put your child in a secondary school and you don't pay the school fees, you make the management not financially capable enough to be able to do some necessary things that they are supposed to do. And so we encourage our parents who have their children in various secondary schools to also make efforts to make sure that they make their payments at the right time. And then we're also encouraging the school management to make sure that they put facilities in place. We are talking about facilities, we are talking about the art facilities, the computer laboratory, we are talking about the science laboratory, the chairs that the students are to sit in. And it's so unfortunate that we still have some secondary schools that still make use of charcoal board in this dispensation. Oh my God. What can you say about that? At least can you? I don't want to be talking. You can also
about the charcoal board. It's not a good idea. We are in a technological age, so there has to be change in the way we also teach and learn. The charcoal board is outdated. You can't be using charcoal board at all. We have to make use of the marker. Yes. That is the best way, and
that's just it. I can't imagine myself still, since from secondary school they are still making of charcoal board. No, that's uncalled for. And so maybe dear management, please, you can advance in some of these facilities. And I'm telling you, these children are the future of this country. We can't but afford to invest in them. And the earlier we begin to invest in these our children, the better it becomes for the country. And also there are some observations that have been made concerning the structure. You can't have a secondary school in a noisy environment. Primary, secondary school, you can't do it. There will be a lot of distraction coming on from the environment, and it's going to obstruct the learning process. And so let's for those who are also aspiring to own a school, probably in the nearest future, get a conducive environment, build an attractive structure, and equip it with facilities that will help the students to learn. And for the parents, we've also heard about training your children from home. You don't leave everything to the hand of the teachers to do. There are parental assignments, there are teachers' assignments, there are pastoral assignments, and all this has a role to play in bringing up a child. So you can't leave all the role you have to play and say, okay, let the teacher play their role, let the pastor play their role.
It does not work that way.
You don't play your own role. It doesn't work that way. Train up a child from home. The way they should breathe, the way they should relate, people they should relate with, the kind of things they should eat, the kind of places to go, the way they should behave. All those trainings we must give them from home, and when they are still tender, that is when we can really make sure that we give these children our best. And I pray that we will not end up lamenting over any of our child in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Before we bring the show to a close, I don't know, maybe there is anything my colleague here wants to say. Anything? Philip?
Well, about the lab, in a school that has lab, it has to be a well standard lab in which everything inside it, the chemicals and everything, you have to write the names that bears the type of chemical it is. You have to write it, you have to indicate it there. It is not like changing the names, or probably if the stapler you use in writing, describing the name on the paper, you put it on, if it has removed out of its body, you replaced a new one there, so that there won't be you taking different one, mix up one. So all, these are the things you need to look at. You need to, that's why every day you go to a lab and you check it every day. You check all of these things every day to know the ones that are empty, the ones that are filled, the one that needs all these things, all these small these petty things ahead, because these are the things that when it comes up ahead. So that is just it. These are the things we have to also pay concentration at, and our library as well. We must have the library.
Never mentioned library, and this is very
this is very important.
This is an important aspect of the school. Library. This is very important.
We have to have a very good library, whereby there must be books there, and we all know this. And once you tell them about, children, there's tendency that when you teach them something, when they grow, they will grow with it. In a library now, a library is very important for us, because we go there to also get information about something, about a topic. When we go there, we get information about a topic. So that's why you must have a library. Library will also help them to get textbook, to check the textbook, to read. And some of them have leisure time. When this leisure time comes and they don't know where to go to, some of them may not like staying with friends, because they might think that this friend has read, how I should read as well. So the library it also play a very vital role in the lives of our child as well. So I pray that our proprietor and our principal will also have a good library in our school.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. We are bringing the show to a close now, and coming up next, we're going to be discussing on the way secondary school teachers are really being handled in the community. Their pain and the way they handle them is not really encouraging. And these are the people that are building the nation. These are the people that are helping the future of this country. And I think the government should really look into this. But we are not going into that discussion now. It will be coming up next.
Exactly.
So I'm still your boy, Emmycul, and here with me
is Caleb.
Stay on the show. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Subscribe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.